All right, what is up, guys? So I can't believe we kind of made it here, but this is officially the fourth episode of the podcast, which means that I've been doing this now for pretty much a month. And to say that kind of feels crazy because one, I'm surprised I've been able to like keep up with it. And it's like 1 month, I don't know, it's just like the start of something that I feel like is really good. And personally, I feel like it's helped me a lot with everything that's been going on between school and making videos and kind of like my mental health. I feel like it's really been helpful to kind of just dump everything out once a week on this podcast. So for now, we're going to continue. And it's also kind of cool for me to document the first three episodes. I listened to them back and they're low key a little cringy, but they're getting better slowly by slowly. And I can kind of see that. So we're just going to give it time and kind of see where it goes to. But for this week, it's currently Monday. It's not Sunday. So I did technically miss one day, but so far I've been releasing the podcast episode every Wednesday. So I should still be able to keep up with it. But yesterday and all of last week was honestly a very crazy week. I feel like I say that every week, but it really is. I've been putting myself out there more and kind of taking a lot more risks and doing things that have made me uncomfortable and things that I never imagined I would be doing, like my previous self. So that's been good. And I guess because of that, it's kind of made every week crazy in its own sort of way. But I guess I'll start with the biggest thing that happened this week was I believe at the beginning of the week, I DM'd some random creator that just came up on my For You page on TikTok. And I thought his stuff was cool. And in his bio, he like said he was 21. So he was around the same age as me. Well, the same age as me. I'm also 21. So that was like a good start. And then I went over to his YouTube channel and he kind of had like his first video was called A Digital Diary. And so I watched it. It was like 6 minutes long, and it basically just kind of outlined how he got started with making videos and kind of like where he wanted to go and stuff like that. And so I thought it was kind of similar to what I was trying to do. So after watching that, I just decided to DM him because why not? And so it took him a few days to get back to me, but he eventually did. And I basically asked him if we could hop on a call and just chat about, some ideas and stuff like that. And so yesterday, Sunday, which was Sunday, May 7th, for the record, we did it. We hopped on a call and that was kind of just like a crazy thing because I'm going to call it, what I want to call it is my first creator meeting or creator call. I like that word. It sounds kind of cool. And I think I'll use it for future reference. But so yesterday I had my first creator call. And to be honest, right before the call, I was like super nervous because I planned like a little script. I wrote down some stuff in my computer about notes and stuff to ask things I wanted to do just so I remembered everything. But I didn't really end up using it that much. And the whole conversation, I was super nervous beforehand, but it was honestly like one of the easiest conversations I think I've ever had. And, I thought I'd be struggling to find things to say, but we honestly just had like a good 45, 50-minute chat about life. And then like we also talked about some of the ideas that we had and stuff. So that was honestly really cool. And so I kind of pitched this crazy idea to him because what I want to do is over the summer, I've kind of got a lot of different things going on and a lot of traveling happening. And so that's part of the reason why I want to start documenting my life now. Sorry, I feel like I've been talking a little fast, so I'm going to try and slow it down a little bit. But basically, there's going to be a lot of things going on this summer. And essentially, I kind of want to document all of it and have like kind of what he did, like a digital diary. And so I thought I'd start now because as summer kind of progresses, the things I'm going to be doing are going to get more and more interesting. I'll probably talk about that in a different video or different podcast. I feel like I've briefly touched on it in the past. But yeah, so my summer starts right after school. I'm going to Arizona to drop off my car there, and that's where I'm going to leave it for the next 6 months until January comes around. So I'm going to Arizona, and then from there, I have to basically road trip all the way up to Washington. And so I kind of had these two options. One, I could road trip with my parents, or they said I could go road trip from Arizona to Washington with some of my friends. And so initially I asked my friends, but just none of their schedules really worked out. And so it was kind of like something that was never going to happen. So I figured I still wanted to do this road trip and I wanted to make it memorable. So one thing that I've kind of been wanting to do for a while is just get a group of strangers, people I've never met before, and just go on a road trip with them. So that was the idea behind it. And so that's why I kind of started messaging just random creators that I found. The reason why I kind of want it to be a group of creators is just because then everyone kind of has like some sort of sense of film and everything. And I feel like it would just make the whole video process easier, but it would still get the same concept of strangers just meeting and, a friendship developing from that. And so I pitched that idea to him. I was like, okay, so the idea I had is I have to take this road trip from Arizona to Washington over the summer. And I know this is kind of a big idea, but would you be down to go? And to my surprise, he actually was down. And like, I don't know, right there when he like said those words, that like kind of just shifted my whole thing. And I got so excited because this was my first call. This was the first creator that I hopped on a call with to pitch this idea to. And they said yes. So I don't know, that kind of just makes me feel like the possibilities right now are endless in a sort of sense. And it kind of feels like for the very first time, like dreams and goals that I have and, things that I've been wanting to do for a long time but have been scared to do. It's like all of those things are like slowly starting to happen for me. And it's all kind of a result of me starting to put myself out there more. So, yeah, so we talked more and I don't know, it was just out of chance, I guess, that his schedule seemed to line up with the dates that I was planning to do this trip. So he's currently checking right now and he's going to confirm back to me. But yeah, so now we're basically, once he says yes, we're in the process of like finding two other creators because the car can only fit like probably 4 people comfortably. Otherwise, I would love to have more. But basically, I've got one person that should be on board, and then I want to find 2 others to basically do the trip with. And yeah, I want to make a film that kind of captures the idea of spontaneity, adventure, and just like kind of making friendships out of like nothing. Just like 4 random people, different parts of the country, just all coming together for this one road trip and just making a memory out of it. And so, yeah, I feel like I had more to say about that. But anyway, I guess I've got my notes right here. Let me take a look real quick. Yeah, so I guess I'm not really sure what I'll call this project yet, but for the time being, I'm calling it Project Northwest because we're going north and then we're going west. But yeah, and because from yesterday's thing, I guess I've kind of had like a recent shift in mindset from a lot of the things. I feel like when I embarked the first time on like making videos 2 years ago, I was making a lot of car content and stuff. And at that point in time, I like had the goal in mind. I had the same goal, the same dream kind of me wanting to make videos for a living, obviously. But I didn't quite have the perspective or the mindset for it, I feel like, because I was still caught up. I was a very closed off person and I was also just really scared of like putting myself up on the internet for anybody to see. And because of that, I feel like that definitely hindered my kind of my skills and what I was able to produce. And it definitely felt like I was just producing content that was random and not authentic or true to me. And I don't know, because I guess I started off making car content, it was mainly about the car, so I didn't really have to be in it if I didn't want to. But over time, I realized that I wasn't really enjoying that. And I was just kind of making videos just because I wanted to go viral and not because I actually enjoyed making those videos. And so that's kind of where I had that shift. And then so I took a long break and now we're back and we're kind of making completely different content. I basically just now want to document my life because I figured if I'm not famous enough and no one's going to come and approach me to document my life, then I might as well do it myself, right? So that's kind of the goal and the idea that I have right now. And recently, I feel like being more open and not as afraid to like kind of put myself out there more has helped with the videos because it's actually given me the courage to like post them online and whatnot and kind of really be myself in those videos. Like recently, I've been doing a lot of voiceovers and talking on the podcast has really helped me kind of get used to hearing my own voice and my own thoughts. And so, because of that, I feel like it's been really helpful. Yeah. You really do need water when you're talking for these long, extended periods of time. But yeah, so that's kind of like a shift in mindset, I guess, that I've had. And it's like the first time I had the dream, but I didn't have the mindset. But now I kind of have both. And it's like now it's become such a powerful thing that I can kind of feel, I can like kind of visualize it slowly starting to come together, I guess. I still have a really long way to go, but at least I feel like I can start to see the vision, which I didn't really before. So, besides that, let's see. I guess some other things that I wanted to talk about, and we'll see if we come back to more of the creator stuff. But other things that happened this week were just kind of for me to log like my other daily stuff. But I kind of am starting to believe that if you do good in the world will do good back to you. And I guess like karma, because recently this week I've been like smiling a lot more to random people, like just being the person to smile at people you walk by first or saying hi first to random people that you walk by and don't know. Because I feel like a lot of people these days, they just don't do that. And you kind of just awkwardly look away when you like walk past, you know what I'm saying? And so I've been doing that more. And what I've noticed is that when you kind of give out that positivity and happiness first, um, you usually, I'd say 7 to 8 out of 10 times, you get it back. But if you don't do it at all, then it's like the chances of someone doing it to you are like maybe 1 in 20, 1 in 30. So that's kind of been like a good thing that's been happening. I've been trying to do that more just because it also helps me to get more comfortable interacting with people, I think. And because of that, on Saturday, I went on a little road trip to a place called Carrizo Plains. And I went on this hike over there. And normally on a hike, like I'm just hiking and there's people walking by, they say hi to me. And in the past, I wouldn't even say hi back because I'd be so focused on just like hiking. And also, I guess my social anxiety was like, I don't know, I just didn't want to say hi or I just totally disregarded it. But this time, literally every single hiker that like passed me or I passed, I said hi to. And like I was going up the hill, right? And I think there was like 3 people that passed me coming down. And each time I just made it an effort to ask them, say hi and ask them a question. It didn't really matter what. I generally just asked them like, how far up did you go? Was there anything cool there? But I kind of made the effort to just kind of talk to them. And to my surprise, it was like really easy. And normally, like if I'm asking a total stranger a question like that, I get these like nervous butterflies in my stomach, you know? But this time I didn't for whatever reason. So that was kind of exciting. And I feel like I'm slowly starting to build this up. And, over time, it's going to be a really powerful thing. So then getting back to karma, I guess, is because I feel like I've been being more positive and happy and kind of just spreading that around in a sort of sense. After the hike and the mini road trip, I stopped on the way back home to get some food at this Cuban restaurant. And I went to go order some food because it was like 40 minutes away and it's been a place that I've been wanting to try for a while. I kind of got like 3 things off the menu. I got a guava and cheese empanada, and then I got 2 like beef and cheese empanadas, and then I also got like a main dish, which was like fried pork, plantains, and like rice. And so I got all of that food, and I was just eating it happily. And I didn't even notice like anything was wrong. But then about like 5 to 10 minutes into eating, the chef or the server in the kitchen came out to me and he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry that we were out of rice. Can I get you like anything else? Do you want like extra fries? Do you want like another serving of pork?" And I was like, "What?" Because I didn't even notice anything was wrong. Like, I didn't notice that there was no rice on the plate until he said that. And so if he didn't come out and say that, I would have just probably walked away and not thought anything about it. But basically, he just said, he was like, "Do you want anything else off the menu?" And I was like, I I think I'm okay. I don't need more pork or anything because there was already quite a lot there. But he was like, "Are you sure? I can get you some like fries. I can get you some chicken." And then I was like, "Well, I guess I'll take some of the chicken because that was the other thing on the menu that I wanted to try." So I was like, "If you can just give me like a little sample of chicken, that would be fantastic." And so he did that. And I don't know, that just like made my day. And I feel like that kind of just made it seem like everything I did this week that was just like smiling at other random strangers and kind of spreading a little happiness and joy, I guess. I don't know. It kind of felt like it just came back to repay me. So maybe just try it and you never know. And I feel like there's no harm in it because I've learned now that the worst thing that can happen is you just don't get a smile back. And it's like, is that really a big deal? Not really. So, yeah. And then, side note, this morning I woke up and we apparently hit 10 plays on the podcast, which I know might not sound like a lot, but it's something. And the fact that this is reaching people is kind of crazy to me. And while 10 people is not a lot, it's like at the same time, 10 people are hearing my voice and they're listening to me like just speak about my life. And it's kind of a cool thing. And I hope that what I talk about like kind of has an impact to the people listening to this in some sort of way, because I think I feel like there's some lessons here. But yeah, in regards to like 10 people hitting the podcast, I recently started a new TikTok account. Just because my old one was a car account and I don't know, views were just not there. So I thought I would just start fresh, start once and for all on a new account. It's called Life of Brennan. Quick little plug, but check it out. I've posted 3 videos on there so far, and while none of them have like blown up crazy, each one has gotten like a few comments. And because of like the content that I've been making more, I've kind of been making what applies to me and kind of like what I've been doing in my life, I guess, that I feel like is also good for other people to like think about or potentially try doing. Like, there's this one video of me yesterday in the field, or not yesterday, but when I went on the little road trip, I went out to a field and I just ran for the very first time. I just ran out into the field and just screamed. And I don't know, that was something I've never done before, because I always thought you just looked silly doing that. And I thought it was like an embarrassing thing and I didn't want to do that. But for whatever reason, on Saturday, I just had that urge to do that. And so I did it. And it was like 21 years of like just pent up screams, I guess, that I just let out. And it honestly felt really good. And so if you haven't ever done that before, I would recommend it. But basically, I made a video about like me kind of saying how I've never done that before because I was always scared to. And there was like some people that said they like related to that and they were like, maybe I should try it. And it's like kind of things like that. It's like if my content just reaches one person and can change the perspective or life of one person for the better, like that's all I really care about. I just kind of want to share the lessons of my life and hope that they're applicable in some way to other people. And hopefully they can be used to, improve not only my life, but I guess the life of others. So that's kind of the goal and the gist of everything that I'm trying to do right now. So, dang, this is kind of the longest podcast. We're at 22 minutes. So I think I'll cut it off here. I don't have too much else to say, but in the weeks to come, I think there's a lot of things to be looking forward to. So until then, I will see you guys next week, and hopefully we'll have a good another month of the podcast. See you guys next time.